Dystopia warning, obviously. Remember the 5th of November. He's actually starting to look like everyone's Aunt Sheila, who spends too much time in Benidorm and therefore resembles a chamois leather. I have to say, as an English woman watching the US election unfold, it has been beyond disturbing, and I'm only using those words because I can't swear for a little while. But Jesus H. tap dancing Christ. Now, when I think about the most disturbing parts for me, it has to be probably the ads that they're putting out to women, assuring them that their husband doesn't have to know about how they've voted. There are men saying with their chest that as the head of the household, they decide who their women vote for. Imagine being that small and insecure. I really feel for the women of America, but they're the ones that are going to carry this across the line. At the moment, it's pretty much impossible for anyone to call it, which is in itself insane. Everything about this election is insane. Firstly, the fact that he was even allowed to run again after he, incited an insurrection in which idiots died to overthrow the democratic result. How many crimes has he been found liable for? It's a mad cult. And no, that's not me misspelling the word cult. He's like a kind of orange Charles Manson. His followers are like the Manson family. Yeah, that's the level that we're at, except unlike the Manson family, there's slightly less killing. No weed, no acid, no music, just all the bad stuff. But like the Manson family, they all revere a sex offender as their leader. And guess who's hopped on a plane to blow on the balls of Trump? Yeah, of course, Toad of Toad Hall, leaping through the air, desperate for Trump to just touch it. Parliament is sitting in Britain. It's not in recess. Wonder if it's sinking in for the people of Clacton yet. Clacton, a deeply deprived town that inexplicably made that a local MP, a guy that won't even hold surgeries because he's afraid the local residents will stab him. Yeah, that's what he thinks of the place that elected him. But just like old Donny, again, it's a cult. The people that follow people like Farage and Trump don't have any real grip on reality, which is why the polls are so close, and that's precisely why Reform won so many votes. It wasn't about popularity even, it was about people believing the bullshit, which was fed to them by people that go home to their mansions at night, as the people that are conned into voting for them have to weigh up whether or not they can, heat themselves or heat the tin of beans for dinner. Because this is how it all works. People like that, and people like that, and people like that have nothing but contempt and disdain for the people that maintain their positions and revere them. The truth always comes out, and it's what people choose to do with that truth that truly matters. You have two options, right? You can get a little bit of self-respect. Look at the plain facts of the matter, like the royal family are taking us for a ride and bleeding us dry, while simultaneously claiming that they're going to magically end homelessness. You can believe the crap spouted by an inarticulate, weird, fascistic fever dream and the people that defend them. Or you can, wake up to yourself and realise that no matter what happens, they're all going to be all right. But you're not. Your kids aren't, and neither is the rest of the world if you keep falling for the nonsense spouted by idiots. I've seen so many turkeys voting for Christmas. I've seen so many people without even the most basic facet of self-respect willingly licking the boots of people that don't care if they live or die, that will happily strip away all of their human rights if it makes them a bit of extra bank from their billionaire donors, not to mention the fact that him and him are up to their balls in foreign interference. Mueller report, anyone? Russia report, anyone? Heavily redacted reports that we can't see the facts of. We don't have full knowledge of. Because all inquiries and reports do are further protect the billionaires that are influencing and buying our politicians. Especially these ones. And I've absolutely had my fill of populism. You don't make the mascot your leader. It's insane behaviour. And that's before we even get onto the fact that that moron has been using long fought for women's rights as a joke. As women bleed out in front of A&E. as they propose to not just take away the right to an abortion, but the right to contraception. Their Project 2025 plans make The Handmaid's Tale look like a children's book. And meanwhile, in the UK, the Tory membership for once surprised me. And I was very relieved to be proven wrong when Bad Enoch was made Tory leader. Kemi Badenoch, a woman so lacking in self-awareness that she almost makes Nadine Dorries look competent. I've seen lost ghosts with more self-awareness than Kemi Badenoch, and no, I'm not referring to Liz Truss. The woman is a gaff magnet. So out of touch she's in an alternate dimension. But at least she's not Robert Jenrick, one of the dodgiest and most compromised politicians that exist in the Tory party, and that's not a place that lacks competition. But not only that, no, Robert Jenrick is 100% fucking mental. And now she's having to try and cobble together a cabinet from 121 hapless Tory MPs that remain. It's the political equivalent of rummaging around in the reduced aisle of the vegetable section of the supermarket. And I'm loving every moment of it. Because not only is it comedy gold, but it proves that they've learned absolutely nothing. She's chosen as Shadow Northern Ireland Secretary a man that's not even been to Northern Ireland. Apparently getting the funding has been tricky. Well, maybe if his poor department is strapped for cash, which it isn't, he should ask Frank Hester for some more money, shouldn't he? Frank Hester, the racist misogynist who made shocking remarks about Diane Abbott. Yeah, but apparently it's a proud day as the Conservative Party announces its first black female leader. A woman that has absolutely no problem denying the existence of white privilege, which is evident in the form of systemic racism in virtually every institution in Britain. Not least that party, and not least that family. Who else has she appointed? Chris Philp! Shadow Home Secretary, who didn't know the difference between the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda. A man who visibly looks thick. And Shadow Foreign Secretary, Priti Patel, accused bully. A woman who had secret meetings with a foreign government. The woman who launched the Rwanda plan and was a key figure in Boris Johnson's government. Yeah, she was the minister for switching off life support machines. Something she was happy to do in a voluntary capacity because it sustained her. And Robert Jenrick, of course, Shadow Justice Secretary, the guy who wants to leave the ECHR. Unbelievable, but it gets better. This next one made me laugh out loud in the middle aisle of Aldi. She's made Mark Francois a Minister of State for Defence. Mark Francois, a guy whose experience consists of playing battleships and the role of Oddjob in GoldenEye 64 multiplayer. Fuck me. In her first interview after being made leader, Kemi Badenoch went on Laura Kuenssberg and said, oh, Partygate wasn't that big a deal. The rules were the problem. Wow. She's a gift to Labour. And as for this, who knows what's going to happen? It's nervous poo time, isn't it? Because if that monster kicks it over the line, it's a victory for Putin. Because he's a traitor, just like the people that support him. And by the time people realise what they've done, it will be too late. So yeah, don't have nightmares and cross everything you've got in the hope that America doesn't cock it up. And if you want to see relentless dystopia over and over again in a low budget, bizarre, weird, sweary format, then be sure to subscribe, you bitches.